My boss said, "We need to discuss why you're in the building every Sunday at 3 a.m. Director Williams pulled up security footage on his laptop, showing me entering through the parking garage in darkness week after week. Building security flagged it last month. You're here for exactly 3 hours every Sunday morning, but there's no overtime log, no projects requiring weekend work. What's going on, David?" My throat constricted as I watched myself on screen, knowing this conversation could end both my career and possibly my freedom. The truth was so far from anything Williams could imagine that I almost laughed at the irony of being caught for the one completely innocent thing I'd been doing. "It's complicated," I said carefully, trying to gauge how much truth I could reveal. Williams leaned back in his chair, studying me with the expression that had made him legendary in corporate interrogations. "Try me. Because right now, IT thinks you're stealing data, HR suspects you're conducting industrial espionage, and security wants to call the FBI about potential terrorist activity. Your explanation better be phenomenal." The real reason I'd been in the building every Sunday at 3 a.m. was sitting in a hidden server room in the basement that had been forgotten during the last renovation. Inside that room was my 17-year-old daughter Jessie, who'd been living there for the past 4 months after running away from her mother's house because of abuse I couldn't prove in court. The custody battle had been brutal, with my ex-wife Margaret painting me as unstable and dangerous despite being the actual threat. Jessie had tried reporting the abuse multiple times, but Margaret was a respected therapist who knew exactly how to manipulate the system. Every accusation Jessie made got turned into evidence of my supposed parental alienation. When Jessie showed up at my apartment with bruises and a split lip, begging me not to send her back, I faced an impossible choice. The court order demanded her return within 24 hours, or I'd face kidnapping charges, but sending her back meant more abuse, possibly escalating to something fatal. That's when I remembered the forgotten server room from my early days at the company. The basement renovation had walled it off from main access, but the old maintenance tunnel still connected. It had power, ventilation, and even an old executive bathroom from the building's original configuration. Most importantly, it was completely off the current floor plans. I spent 2 weeks secretly converting it into a living space, bringing in a bed, mini fridge, hot plate, and everything Jessie needed to survive. She attended online school using the building's guest Wi-Fi, exercised in the empty offices at night, and maintained strict protocols about staying hidden during business hours. Every Sunday at 3 a.m., I brought her supplies, food, and most importantly, 3 hours of normal father-daughter time. We'd play board games, watch movies on my laptop, or just talk about everything except the insanity of our situation. Those Sunday mornings were the only thing keeping both of us sane. "You've been harboring a runaway in our corporate headquarters?" Williams asked after I'd explained everything, his face cycling through disbelief, anger, and something that might have been sympathy. "Do you have any idea what this could do to the company if discovered? The liability alone could destroy us." I pulled out my phone, showing him photos of Jessie's injuries, the court documents that had failed her, the psychiatric evaluation that Margaret had somehow manipulated to paint Jessie as delusional. "She's 17, I said quietly. "In 7 months, she turns 18, and this nightmare ends. I just need to keep her safe until then." Williams stood and paced to his window, looking out at the city skyline for so long I thought he might call security right then. Finally, he turned back, his expression unreadable. "Show me this room. If I'm going to lose my career over this, I at least want to see what I'm protecting." The walk to the basement felt like heading to an execution. Williams said nothing as I led him through the maintenance tunnel to the hidden door. When we entered, Jessie was doing homework at a makeshift desk, wearing her school uniform from the private academy she attended online. She looked up in terror, immediately recognizing that our secret was blown. "Mr. Williams," she said, standing quickly, "please, before you call anyone, just know that my father saved my life. My mother would have killed me eventually. I have documentation of everything if you want to see it." Williams studied the room, taking in the neat space, the schoolwork posted on walls, the careful organization that showed discipline rather than delinquency. He looked at Jessie's visible scars, both old and new, then sat heavily in the desk chair. "I have a daughter," he said finally. "She's 25 now, but when she was your age, her stepfather was a monster. The system failed her too." He pulled out his phone, and my heart stopped, but instead of calling security, he called his assistant. "Cancel my 3 p.m. and set up a meeting with our legal team about pro bono custody cases. Full confidentiality required." Over the next 3 months, Williams not only kept our secret, but mobilized the company's legal resources to build an ironclad case against Margaret. The company's investigators found what the court-appointed ones hadn't: Margaret's history of falsified therapy notes, hidden abuse allegations from former partners, and financial fraud that gave us the leverage we needed. The morning of Jessie's 18th birthday, she walked out of that building legally free. Margaret was under investigation for fraud and abuse, her therapy license suspended. Williams had somehow turned our corporate crime into a story of corporate compassion that, if it ever surfaced, would be PR gold rather than disaster. Today, Jessie's in college studying law, inspired by the lawyers who'd finally gotten her justice. Williams still stops by my office occasionally, never mentioning those Sunday mornings, but always asking how she's doing. Sometimes breaking every rule is the only way to protect someone when the system designed to save them has failed completely.